Hello and welcome to another episode of Awaken and Unfiltered. I am your host, Erica Barreto, and today we're going to be getting into the shadow and the self. This is where that journey inward becomes the path to awakening. And I think that a lot of people just don't understand exactly what shadow work is. So we're going to be talking about it. Here, we're not going to bypass anything. We're not going to bypass that dark. We're going to sit with it. We're going to alchemize it, and we're going to rise from it. So if you're ready to really look into that mirror with compassion to face your shadow or understand exactly what that shadow is, then this episode is for you. So we're going to break down what is shadow work. So let's get real for a minute. A lot of times people think that shadow work is about fixing yourself. Is it really? I don't think so. I need you to look at it in a different perspective and understand that it is about finding yourself beneath the layers of who you were told to be, who you were told to become. The shadow is just parts of us that's tucked away in a place where maybe we feel shame, maybe because of things that we feared, rejection, maybe because we didn't feel safe to be seen. This can show up for us in so many different ways of our life. This can show up as people-pleasing, self-sabotage, perfectionism, emotional reactivity. But here's the thing. Your shadow is your messenger. Your triggers are there to teach you. It holds truth. It holds healing, and it holds power. But only if you are willing to look at it. That's why we're going to call this episode The Mirror. Because why? The mirror never lies. Because life is constantly showing us the parts of ourselves where we're being invited to see. But do we really want to look at it? Do we want to take that accountability of looking at those parts of us that we want to hide, that feel heavy? And I want to just talk about how I had to face these things in my life. And I just remember a time in my journey where I just kept attracting the same kind of people, the same kind of situations. And it really brought me to a place of questioning my worth, feeling small, and understanding that, wow, okay, these people are mirroring something to me, something that I haven't quite healed yet. But my fear of not being enough, my fear of feeling like I wasn't capable of being loved, my imposter syndrome, okay? The universe wasn't punishing me. It was handing me a mirror. It was a chance for me to get deeper, a moment that I needed to acknowledge the truth within me. And I think that's really something that is hard for people to sit with, to recognize that a lot of the situations that happen around us, it's because it's reflecting something in us. And it's something that we need to shift. Now, I'm going to offer you a journal prompt because I am a very big journaler. And I'm going to put a shameless plug in here for my own gratitude journal that I created at the beginning of my journey. And you can find that at the link below if you're interested. It's available on Amazon. It's called It Starts With Gratitude. But journaling has been a very big part of my journey because it helps me get the thoughts that's inside outside, right? I'm not holding them. I'm not harboring them in. I'm able to write what I feel. So I am a very big journal prompt type of person. So I want to offer you a simple but a powerful prompt for this week to really explore, okay? So grab your paper, grab your pen, and I want you to write this down. What part of me do I hide the most? And what is it trying to teach me? Now, I don't want you to rush to answer this. I want you to sit with it. I want you to breathe into it. Look at it without judgment too. Because shadow work isn't about you blaming or labeling. It's about you witnessing. And when you witness yourself for who you truly are. Just so that you could really sit there and start to put yourself together again so you can feel whole again. This is not about you victim blaming or making yourself feel bad for the things that you could have looked at differently or maybe where you could have put boundaries up. That's a whole other thing we could talk about. But this is really about you just understanding that the parts of you that you are afraid to show, the very parts of you that you are hiding is what makes you real. It makes you authentic. It makes you relatable. And most of all, it makes you magnetic. Okay, let that sink in, because I want you to understand that you are not broken. You're just becoming the best version of yourself. And unfortunately, we have to find that version of ourselves in the shadows to deal with the things that we don't want to really confront because it makes us uncomfortable. It could feel heavy. And some of us just don't like to revisit the past because it could be very traumatizing, depending on what your trauma is. For me, I dealt with a lot of neglect. I dealt with a lot of abandonment issues because my dad left my mom at the age of 5. So I really had to experience the feelings of not feeling worthy, of not feeling like I was ever enough, or not feeling like I deserved to be loved. I mean, those are things that come back so much in my life. And I can tell you that these things that we deal with and that we're healing will show up in so many different ways. Okay. It's not going to just show up in your personal relationships. This can show up with people that you just meet. This can show up in friendships. This can show up with complete strangers. And it can show up with just looking at a video and being triggered by what you saw. Your triggers are there to teach you. And I want you to just open up to that idea. This path of being spiritual is not about sitting in the love and light. And I can tell you that I was guilty of this when I first started my journey. I was absolutely guilty of it. And I think a lot of people who come on this path, you start to really understand spirituality. We all get to a place where we fall upon this love and light theory. And it isn't all love and light. It is not all love and light. Yes, we get to a place where we do embrace that love and light, but we get there from being in that darkness. We get there from experiencing a part of ourselves that was hard to look at. I was depressed for 2 years. I didn't even leave my house for 2 years. After I had left work and I was sick, I left my job because I was dealing with a medical issue, but I felt like my life was over. I didn't even know what to expect. And it really put me in a hole. I'm telling you, I didn't leave my house for 2 years. I looked a hot mess express. I was almost 200 pounds. I mean, it took me down. But then I started to realize I don't want to live like this no more. There's something here that I need to understand. And this is when my abilities and everything started to come online for me. I started to feel like I was crazy. That's a whole nother thing. Okay. I thought I was crazy. I was looking at psychiatrists and psychologists and trying to figure out, why do I hear voices? What's going on? But I met the most amazing therapist along the way who really walked me through my spirituality. And he's no longer here with us, but I absolutely know he's with me in spirit all the time, guiding me. Gave me so many tools to work with. Okay, so shadow work is about understanding and identifying the tools that you can work with that can help you. Journaling is amazing. Grounding your energy daily is amazing. Sitting with yourself, taking the time that you need to do the things that bring you joy, bringing yourself back to a place of feeling childlike, right? Whatever that is for you, whether it's coloring, going out outside on the park, swinging on a swing, whatever that is for you that brings you joy, take yourself to that place, because that's going to be a part of your healing journey. Remember, healing is not linear. It's up and down. It's all around. You're going to feel like you're on a roller coaster 24/7. But as time goes, you're going to understand that it gets a lot easier for you to handle these situations, because you're going to recognize it when it starts to come up. When you see a pattern starting to repeat, you're going to say, wait a second, this feels real familiar. And then you're going to sit and you're going to say, oh, wow, this is the wounded child that didn't feel like she was worth it. This is showing up as a money wound where, you feel like you have lack. I grew up from lack. I know we could talk about that. Money wounds are serious. When I tell you I have suffered with a money wound my whole life, because I felt like I couldn't afford things growing up. So I got to a point in my life where I could, and I started just buying a bunch of stuff. And as years went on, I got into a massive debt for trying to fill a void. A part of me that was about fulfilling a need to make myself feel loved. So I was finding it through things. That is a money wound. So healing shows up in so many different ways. That's just one of the many. So I want you to take it easy with yourself. I want you to cradle yourself like you are a baby. The same way you would look at a newborn, look at your smaller self the same way. Love yourself. Shadow work is self-love. It is about you acknowledging yourself, acknowledging those parts of you, holding and hugging those parts of you. It's not there to punish you. It's there to help you grow. It's there to help you understand the spiritual journey. You are loved through and through. And that self-love starts with you. So don't look at shadow work as a punishment, or I don't want to look at it and I just want to be love and light. We need both. Okay? You need both. So I hope this episode, you found it helpful. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section or just let me know. I hope you all have an amazing day. Till next time.